Welcome to the Sand Science Experience, your source for the most current and impactful research and preprints in science. Please do make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps support the Sand Science Experience, helps us keep bringing you these deep dives. So today we are plunging into, well, a really groundbreaking new paper. It tackles one of humanity's oldest quests, reversing the clock on aging. Specifically, we're doing a deep dive into the super exciting world of chemical reprogramming, using chemicals to fight the signs of aging and maybe extend lifespan. And this is cool because it's moving beyond genetic stuff, towards something potentially much more practical, maybe safer.
Yeah, what's really fascinating here is the approach, how scientists are tackling biological aging, which is, let's face it, incredibly complex. And it's not just about living longer, right? It's about extending our health span, the years we actually feel good and are healthy. This research, it offers up a novel chemical path, a way to potentially hit reset on aging inside our cells, targeting those core problems like genomic instability, basically, our DNA getting scrambled over time, and epigenetic changes too, those instructions that tell our genes what to do, which can go awry as we get older.
Okay, right. So let's break that down a bit. We know aging means cells kind of lose their mojo, function declines, and disease risk creeps up. And previous attempts, they often use genetic methods to try and, rejuvenate cells.
Exactly, genetic reprogramming. And while it showed some promise, definitely.
Yeah, but it came with serious safety worries, didn't it? Like the risk of tumors or cells just sort of losing their identity, forgetting what they're supposed to be.
That's the big concern, yes. Oncogenesis and loss of cell identity. Major hurdles.
So here's where this paper gets really interesting. It asks, what if chemicals could do the trick, but without those big risks?
Precisely. So the researchers first looked at this cocktail of 7 small molecules. They called it 7C. Now, this mix was already known to kind of push cells back towards a more basic pluripotent state. And they did see some early wins in human cells, things like improvements in DNA damage markers. Gamma H2AX levels went down, and epigenetic markers looked better too, like H3K9, INE3, and H3K27E3, showing better epigenetic stability.
Okay, so some positive signs initially.
But there was a pretty big but. This 7C cocktail, it actually hampered cell growth, cell proliferation. And worse, it increased reactive oxygen species ROS, which is, a sign of cellular stress. Bad news.
Okay. So not quite the magic bullet then. It raises the question, can you get the good stuff without the bad?
That is the million-dollar question.
Mm-hmm.
And they found a way. They went back and optimized the cocktail, really refined it. They managed to narrow it down to just 2 chemicals, TCP and Repsox. This became the 2C cocktail.
It's just 2. Okay, so what did this leaner mix do?
Well, this connects to the bigger picture, right? This optimization was absolutely key. The 2C cocktail showed, frankly, remarkable improvements in human skin cells, fibroblasts, and keratinocytes. Mm-hmm. It still reduced DNA damage. It still improved the epigenetics, just like the 7C did.
Uh-huh.
But critically, it decreased those harmful reactive oxygen species. And it only had a mild effect on cell proliferation, much better balanced.
Wow. Okay. So hitting the sweet spot, maybe.
It looks like it. A more balanced kind of rejuvenation.
Mm-hmm.
They even saw the effects were long-lasting, improved the cell's ability to regenerate, and importantly, that cells kept their specific identities. They didn't get confused.
That's huge. Okay, that's in human cells in a dish. But what about a whole living organism? That's the real test, isn't it?
Absolutely. So they moved to C. elegans. It's a tiny nematode worm, but it's a standard model organism for aging research.
What happened with the worms?
This is where it gets, truly compelling. The 2C cocktail significantly extended the median lifespan of these worms by, get this, 42.1%.
42%? That's massive.
It's astounding. And it wasn't just lifespan. Their health span dramatically improved, too. We're talking longer reproductive periods, smaller tumors, they didn't shrink as much with age, and functionally they moved better, swam faster, and were way more resistant to stress like oxidative stress and heat stress.
Wow. So broad benefits across the board in a living animal.
Exactly. Real in vivo benefits, not just in a petri dish.
So for you listening, you might be thinking, okay, great for worms, but what about us? Why should you care?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? The translation potential. And the beauty of using chemicals, small molecules, is their potential clinical viability. Small molecules can typically get into cells easily. They're usually easier to deliver than, say, complex gene therapies. And you can control the dose, modulate the effects, even reverse them if needed, which is much harder with genetic changes.
Right, and it sidesteps those big cancer risks you mentioned with the genetic methods.
Precisely. It avoids those oncogenic risks. So this chemical approach, it really does open up a much more plausible path, potentially, towards therapies that could tackle aging in humans.
This deep dive, it really shows the incredible potential hiding in, well, chemical solutions for these really complex biological problems like aging. Just imagine the possibilities for our health, our longevity.
Indeed, it's a profound step. Helps us understand aging better and maybe, just maybe, gives us tools to manipulate it right at the source. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What other biological processes we think are irreversible might actually respond to this kind of chemical reprogramming.
A really thought-provoking development, a fascinating step in that quest for healthy longevity. Okay, that's our deep dive for today. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you can keep up with all the latest scientific breakthroughs right here at the Sand Science Experience. We'll see you next time.